How much time per week is actually required to get into the best shape possible? It's common to think that we need to train 5 or 6 days per week and 2 or 3 hours per session to get into amazing shape. And while you can get into amazing shape by doing that, most people, myself included, just don't have that kind of time. Most people don't want to look like a professional bodybuilder, and most people aren't looking to train like a professional athlete. And the thing that both of those athletes have in common is that they're spending a lot of time in the gym. And something I hear over and over and over again is that I just don't have time to work out and get into shape. And most of the time, people say that because they think it takes way more time than is actually necessary to get into really great shape. Hi, my name is JC Dean. You're watching an OBS approach to looking great naked, where I give you the truth about what it takes to get into shape, and I give you the exact steps to reach your fitness goals. Before we get into this, I just want to tell you a little something about my personal clients. So when I am writing up the programming for my clients individually, I am thinking about two things. I'm thinking about efficiency, and I'm also thinking about how effective the program can be. Now, most of my clients don't have the time to train more than 4 days per week. And in fact, even some of them are so busy that they're training only twice a week in the gym with weights. So just because you may be working a lot, you may have a lot going on in your life, but you still want to go to the gym and still do something about your health and your fitness, you know exactly what exercises you're doing, and you know exactly what sequence to go in, and you know how to progress over time. One of the ways I see people messing up a lot is they go into the gym without really knowing what to do, and they just feel like they're going to wing it. I'm going to the gym today, I'll figure it out. And what could be 40 to 45 minutes from start to finish turns into a few hours of wandering around the gym, doing random movements, and trying to get a sweat going. And this leads to the idea that people have to spend way more time than necessary in the gym to reach their goals. The next thing I want to point out is when you know exactly what to do when you go to the gym from start to finish, you'll realize that the time you actually spend in the gym is very little in comparison to the rest of your schedule. And that's why when you're following a good program and you know exactly what to do, you only need 2 to 4 days per week. And yes, that may sound like it's not a lot of exercise, and that's true. It's not a ton in comparison to someone who's training an hour a day and also doing cardio on top of that. But what's really important here is your goals specifically. If you're trying to lose body fat and just to get in better shape in general, 2 to 4 hours of weight training per week is going to be sufficient. And as long as you're not missing sessions, you're getting enough rest, and you're continually improving, you're going to get better and you're going to improve over time, and you will end up reaching your goals as long as you're consistent. And the last thing I want to mention, and it's as important, if not more important than your training, is making sure that your diet is as simple and automatic as possible. And what I mean by this is if you're working a lot, you've got a lot going on, you've got a lot of priorities, you probably don't have a ton of time and effort and mental effort to place on your diet and your training. So that's why I said earlier, your training needs to be efficient, it needs to be effective. 2 to 4 days per week is plenty, and the diet is the same way. You don't want to waste a ton of mental effort on constantly thinking about what to eat or how to eat. So I actually have some principles called the BBED, which is the boring but effective diet, and I'll leave a link to that video below this one. But in a nutshell, what that basically means is you have a rough template for your diet and you make your meals as simple and as easy as possible, so you're not constantly trying to figure out what to eat or how much to eat. And a really quick, easy example of this is having a nutritious smoothie in the morning with plenty of protein and fruits and some healthy fat. It's really easy to mix up. It's an easy breakfast. It's a great way to start your day. And then for lunch and dinner, you want to have something very similar: a lean protein, lean carbohydrate, good fats, some cooked greens, and you can have that for lunch and dinner. You can have a variety of meats and carbohydrates for that. But as long as you keep it really simple and you focus on getting enough protein and enough calories in general for your goal, you're going to reach your goals and you're not going to have to worry too much about the diet in general. As long as you stick to it, as long as you hit your macros, as long as you're consistently hitting your goals, you will lose weight, you will get the transformation that you want. So here it is in a nutshell. Your training needs to be planned, it needs to be on purpose, it needs to have a rhyme and a reason. So when you go into the gym, you know exactly what you're doing, you're following a program. When you step foot in the gym, you're starting with your warm-ups, you get through your workout, 40-45 minutes, you're done. The next thing to remember is when you're following a good program and you know exactly what you're doing when you're in the gym, you really only need 2 to 4 days per week of weight training, and that's it. You don't have to go for 2-hour sessions 6 days a week. You could do that if you want, but when you have other priorities, that's just not necessary. 2 to 4 days per week is plenty. And the last thing is just remember that you want to automate your diet and make it as simple as possible, because the more simple it is, the more nutritious it can be, and the more you're going to stick to it if it's simple and easy to automate. So I want you to remember, a majority of the people I work with have lives and have lots of priorities outside of their health and fitness. And I just wanted to make a quick video so you understand that it doesn't need to take up all your mental energy. It doesn't need to take all your time and effort to get into really great shape. So my question for you is, have you ever gotten stuck with any of these topics, trying to find a perfect program or getting into the gym and kind of wandering around or trying to figure out what the perfect diet is or what you need to eat on a consistent basis? If you struggle with any of those things, let me know. Post a question in the comments. I'll be glad to help you out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.